Dawn hasn't broken yet, but the savanna is already alive with danger. The grass whispers, eyes glow in the darkness, and every heartbeat is a countdown to violence. Out here, there is no mercy, no second chances, only hunters and the hunted. A single misstep can turn a giant into a corpse, a predator into a meal for scavengers. And when the silence shatters with the roar of a lion or the thunder of hooves, the plains explode into chaos. This is not just nature, Vaya, it is war. Fought every day, written in blood and dust. The first law of survival. The savanna is not chaos. It is a battleground governed by one ruthless law: survival. Every animal, no matter how powerful, is forced to play by it. A herd of elephants pushes through the woodlands, their matriarch guiding them with wisdom carved by generations. But even she knows this is dangerous ground. A calf, exhausted and stumbling, threatens to slow the herd. And in this land, weakness is an open invitation. Lions are waiting. Their eyes glimmer in the shadows, calculating, patient, willing to wait for that single mistake. Yet it isn't just brute strength that decides the outcome. Survival here is a game of strategy. Zebras rely on confusion, their stripes blurring together like a living river. Wildebeest move in vast herds, knowing that numbers can overwhelm even the sharpest fangs. And predators too play their roles carefully, conserving energy, timing every move, waiting for that one golden opportunity. But the most shocking truth of the savanna is this: the balance of life and death doesn't rest on strength alone. It rests on cunning, unity, and sometimes pure luck. The law of survival is not about who is strongest, it's about who makes the fewest mistakes. And as the shadows shift and the wind carries the scent of prey, that law is about to be tested in blood. The hunt begins. The air is thick with heat. Dust clings to the savanna like a warning, and every hoofbeat of the buffalo herd seems to echo louder than thunder. They march in their hundreds, a living fortress armed with curved horns and raw muscle. To face them head-on would be suicide, even for lions. But lions do not fight with honor. They fight with patience. Hidden in the grass, a pride lies motionless. Lionesses, the true hunters, press their bodies to the ground, golden eyes locked on the herd. Their muscles twitch with anticipation, but not one moves too soon. The wind is in their favor, carrying the scent of sweat and fear straight to their nostrils. The buffalo lower their heads to drink, unaware that death is watching. Calves shuffle nervously at the edges of the herd, too small to sense the danger, too weak to resist it. For the lions, this is the perfect moment. One lioness edges forward inch by inch, her paws silent against the dry earth. Another moves to the side, circling, cutting off escape routes. Their plan is simple: isolate the weakest, strike with speed, and let the power of the pride finish the job. Then the silence breaks. A sudden burst of movement, a golden flash in the grass. The herd erupts into chaos, the ground trembling beneath pounding hooves. Dust clouds rise like smoke as lions explode from every direction. The hunt has begun. A calf stumbles, its legs giving way under the pressure of the stampede. In an instant, 3 lionesses close in, claws hooking into flesh, jaws locking around its throat. The mother buffalo wheels around, bellowing, horns slashing at the attackers in desperation. For a heartbeat, predator and prey collide in a furious storm of strength, dust, and blood. But unity wins battles. The pride drags the calf down, and with a final cry, the fight is over. For the lions, this is survival. For the buffalo, it is tragedy. Yet even in victory, the savanna does not grant peace. For predators, the real challenge begins after the kill. And from the shadows, other eyes are already watching. Thieves of the savanna. The kill is fresh, the air heavy with the coppery scent of blood. The lion pride circles its prize, panting, muscles quivering from the chase. For a moment, it feels like triumph, but in the savanna, victory is never safe. From the distance comes a chilling sound, a cackle, sharp and mocking, cutting through the stillness like broken glass. Hyenas, the thieves of the plains. They move as shadows at first, then shapes emerge from the tall grass. 1, then 3, then a dozen. Their eyes gleam with hunger, their sloping bodies twitching with restless energy. Each step brings them closer, their laughter rising in a chorus that seems less like joy and more like war drums. The lions snarl, lips curling back to reveal fangs still wet with blood. The pride knows this battle well, they bite. They've fought it countless times. The kill is theirs, but hyenas don't respect ownership. They respect only numbers. The standoff builds. Hyenas circle, darting forward to test the pride, snapping jaws just inches away before retreating again. The lionesses stand shoulder to shoulder, muscles taut, their roars vibrating across the ground. The old male lifts his head, mane bristling, eyes burning with defiance. Then the assault begins. Hyenas surge in, shrieking, rushing the carcass from all sides. Lions leap forward, claws slashing, sending one hyena tumbling into the dust. But for every one driven back, two more take its place. Their jaws are bone crushers, capable of snapping leg bones like dry sticks. The night fills with K, roars, howls, the crunch of teeth on bone. For every moment the lions hold their ground, the hyenas press harder, their madness fueled by hunger. It is not just a fight for food, it is a war of endurance. And here lies the cruel truth. Lions are powerful, but hyenas are relentless. If enough of them gather, even kings can be humbled. In the end, the kill is torn apart not by the hunt, but by the struggle that follows. Flesh ripped in abainbad. Every direction, the savanna echoes with a truth as old as time. No victory here goes unchallenged. But the savanna has more players in its endless game, and the river, with jaws that lurk unseen beneath its waters, is waiting for its turn in this merciless cycle. The river of death. If the savanna is a battlefield, then the river is its execution ground. The Mara, a silver vein cutting through the plains, is both a lifeline and a death trap. Every year, millions of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles gather at its banks, driven by hunger, thirst, and an ancient instinct older than memory itself. The herd hesitates at the edge, their hooves stirring clouds of dust, their eyes wide with fear. They know what waits beneath the surface. The water looks calm, but it hides monsters. For the crocodile, patience is a weapon. These ancient predators can wait for hours, even days, motionless, their armored backs blending with the current, their eyes just above the waterline. Then, without warning, the first wildebeest leaps. The rest follow like a living river, crashing into the water in a frenzy of splashing hooves and desperate cries. The herd surges forward, but chaos erupts as jaws explode from the depths. A crocodile the size of a small car clamps down on a wildebeest, dragging it beneath the surface with terrifying force. The water churns red as the beast performs its infamous death roll, twisting with bone-snapping strength. Another lunges at a zebra, teeth locking onto its neck. Panic spreads through the herd. Some push forward, others are trampled under the weight of their own kind. The air is filled with chaos, the braying of prey, the thrashing of water, the cold silence of predators that have perfected the art of ambush over 60 million years. For every animal that makes it across, another is lost beneath the surface. But the river is more than just a graveyard. It is a gatekeeper. Those who survive emerge drenched, trembling, but alive, stepping into fresh grazing lands that promise survival, at least for now. And as the herds move on, the crocodiles sink back into their timeless watch, waiting for the next wave of desperate souls. Because on the savanna, the river never stops claiming its toll. Darin Ma. Eternal rivals. The savanna has no permanent throne. Every victory is temporary, every crown contested, and nowhere is that more obvious than in the endless war between lions and hyenas. By day, lions may rest in the shade of acacia trees, their golden bodies draped lazily in the dust. By night, the balance shifts. Hyenas emerge like ghosts, their cackles echoing under the moonlight. These two predators are locked in a rivalry that has lasted for millions of years, a rivalry written into their very survival. When a lion pride brings down a zebra or buffalo, it is rarely the end of the story. Hyenas circle, their keen noses guiding them for miles. With clans that can swell to 70 strong, they descend with one mission: to steal what is not theirs. The clash is violent, raw, and terrifying. A single lioness may take down a hyena with one crushing swipe of her paw. But numbers are the hyena's true weapon. They bite, harass, and distract, whittling down the pride's strength until exhaustion sets in. Yet lions are no strangers to brutality. Dominant males, sometimes brothers united in coalitions, will charge into the mob, scattering hyenas with roars that shake the night. Teeth clash, bones snap, and the ground becomes a stage for ancient hatred. But here lies the dark secret. This war is not simply about food. It is about dominance. Every stolen carcass is a message. Every clash is a test of power. Hyenas may win through persistence, but lions rule through fear. And when the balance tips, even the boldest scavengers retreat into the shadows. Still, the rivalry never ends. Tomorrow the lions will hunt again, and tomorrow the hyenas will follow. The savanna feeds on conflict, and this feud is its heartbeat. And yet, beyond this violent rivalry, an even harsher truth rules the plains. Kings are never safe, not even among their own kind. Thrones in blood. A lion's roar may echo for miles, shaking the savanna like thunder, but power here is fragile. For male lions, the throne is not inherited. It is taken, and it is defended in blood. Every pride has its ruler, sometimes a single dominant male, sometimes a coalition of brothers bound by survival. But in the distance, rivals are always waiting. Younger, stronger, hungrier lions who dream of power. And when they come, the challenge is brutal. Two males collide in an explosion of fury, claws carving through skin, manes drenched in blood and dust. These battles can last for hours, leaving deep scars or ending in death. Victory is never graceful. It is raw, savage, and absolute. But the true horror begins after the fight. When a new ruler claims the pride, he is not content with dominance alone. To secure his legacy, he destroys the bloodline of his predecessor. The cubs, tiny, spotted, innocent, become victims of an unforgiving law. By ending their lives, the females are forced back into estrus, ready to bear his offspring. It is a cycle that feels cruel to us, but to the lions, it is survival. Each king's reign is measured not in years, but in scars and heirs. Some rule for a few fleeting months before being overthrown. Others carve their names into the savanna with years of dominance, their roars remembered long after they fall. Yet even the mightiest kings cannot escape fate. Age weakens claws, hunger dulls instincts, and when that day comes, the same brutal law will greet them. As rivals rise from the grass, ready to claim the throne in blood. The savanna may crown kings, but it never lets them rule in peace. The flooded miracle. Far from the cracked earth of the Mara, where dust rises like smoke from endless battles, lies a place that seems like a dream, the Okavango Delta. A river that defies logic, it does not flow to the sea but disappears into the thirsty desert sands of Botswana. And once a year, when the floods come down from Angola, this barren land transforms into a living paradise. For animals weary from drought, the arrival of water is nothing short of resurrection. Herds of buffalo, giraffes, elephants, and antelope converge from every direction. They trudge for hundreds of miles, gaunt from hunger, ribs pressing through skin until at last they find salvation in the shimmering pools. Here, the parched drink deeply, the weak recover strength, and the air is filled with the music of life returning. But paradise never lasts long in the wild. The floodplains, lush with grasses and filled with prey, become the stage for predators. Lions lying in wait on the green edges track the herds. Wild dogs, relentless hunters, carve through the shallow waters with speed and precision. Even crocodiles, usually confined to rivers, spread across the marshes, turning pools of life into ambush zones of death. A herd of wildebeest grazes in the open floodplain, comforted by the abundance of water. But in the tall grasses nearby, amber eyes track every step. The silence is deceptive. Beneath it lies a storm of instinct ready to explode. One lioness shifts her weight, another crouches lower, and the first sudden burst of movement scatters the herd like shattered glass. The chase is chaos on wet ground. Hooves thunder through the water, splashing droplets into the air like rain. A single wildebeest falters, its hooves sinking into the mud, In an instant, lions close the distance, their bodies moving like arrows through the marsh. The kill is swift, violent, inevitable. In the Okavango, life and death exist in perfect balance. The same waters that grant survival also fuel the fiercest battles. The flood may seem like a miracle, but it is only another stage in nature's unending war. And beyond the lush green of the delta, the cycle continues. Across endless grasslands where speed, strength, and endurance decide who will see another sunrise. The race of ghosts. In the open plains, where the grass rolls like waves beneath the wind, another predator stalks the stage. The cheetah. Unlike lions, they do not rule with power, and unlike hyenas, they do not swarm with numbers. Their kingdom is speed, and speed alone. A cheetah crouches low, its spotted coat melting into the dry grass. Its eyes, dark and sharp, lock onto a herd of impala grazing in the distance. Every muscle in its body coils like a drawn bow, waiting for the perfect instant. The impala flick their ears, sensing nothing. Then silence breaks. In less than 3 heartbeats, the cheetah explodes forward. The world blurs into streaks of dust and pounding hooves. At 60 miles per hour, it is less an animal and more a phantom, a living arrow cutting through the air. The impala scatter in panic, their leaps graceful but desperate. Yet the cheetah does not falter. Its long tail whips like a rudder, balancing each stride as its claws dig into the earth. But here lies the tragedy of the cheetah. Its gift is also its curse. That astonishing speed burns through energy like fire devouring dry grass. Within seconds, its lungs are gasping, its muscles screaming. It has only half a minute to end the chase, or exhaustion will end it instead. The impala veers sharply, a desperate gamble, but the cheetah's body twists mid-stride, following the turn with lethal precision. A final burst, a leap, and the impact is thunder. Dust explodes as predator and prey crash to the ground. A sharp bite to the throat ends the race. For the cheetah, victory is fragile. Even with the kill secured, danger remains. Lions, hyenas, even vultures may steal its prize within minutes. Unlike other predators, the cheetah has no brute force to defend what it has won. It feeds quickly, every bite stolen from the ticking clock of survival. Here, in the savanna's endless cycle, the cheetah is both master and victim. The fastest killer alive, yet always one step away from loss. A ghost of speed, fleeting, beautiful, and endlessly vulnerable. And as the sun begins to fall, painting the sky in fire and gold, another shadow rises, one older, colder, and far more patient than speed. The silent rulers of the rivers are waiting to write the day's final chapter, the eternal cycle. As night draws near, the savanna does not rest. It shifts. The air cools, shadows lengthen, and the river becomes the stage once more. Beneath the black surface, crocodiles wait, their bodies motionless, their jaws armed with 60 million years of perfection. They do not chase. They do not waste energy. They simply wait for the mistake that will deliver life into their grip. A zebra steps too close, its hooves sinking into the mud. The water erupts in violence. Jaws snap shut with bone-crushing force, dragging the animal into the depths. The surface churns, red and furious, then falls still again. For the crocodile, patience is victory. For the prey, hesitation is death. Nearby, hippos crowd together in shrinking pools, their massive bodies pressed side by side. Though they seem gentle, their jaws are capable of shattering bones with a single bite. They are guardians of their territory, ready to kill to defend it. In this uneasy truce of beasts, the river belongs to no one, and to everyone. Above, vultures circle on unseen winds, their sharp eyes searching for the day's casualties. To some, they are scavengers, but to the savanna, they are cleaners, erasing the remnants of battle, ensuring nothing goes to waste. And so, the cycle continues. Lions roar into the night, proclaiming dominion they will one day lose. Hyenas laugh in the dark, ever hungry, ever waiting. The herds march on, guided by instincts older than memory, knowing that tomorrow will demand the same, fight as today. Conclusion. The spirit of the wild. The African savanna is not just a place on a map. It is a living battlefield, a theater of survival where every sunrise writes a new chapter and every sunset closes a story of triumph, tragedy, and endurance. To walk these plains is to feel the pulse of life itself, raw and unfiltered. Here, power shifts like sand in the wind. A lion may roar today, his mane blazing with authority. But tomorrow, another will challenge him, and his kingdom may fall in a storm of claws and blood. The herds may appear endless, rivers of muscle and bone stretching across the horizon. Yet drought, predators, and rivers filled with jaws remind them that abundance is always temporary. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest elephant, plays a role in this endless cycle. The death of a zebra feeds the lion. The scraps left behind feed the hyena. The bones, once picked clean, nourish the soil, allowing the grasses to rise again, feeding the herds once more. It is not cruelty. It is balance. A balance older than humanity, older than memory itself. What makes the savanna so extraordinary is not its violence alone, but its resilience. The calf that stumbles and survives will grow into tomorrow's protector. The lioness who fails today's hunt will return tomorrow, be sharper, hungrier, and stronger. The rains will come again, flooding barren lands into green, and the cycle will begin anew. And perhaps that is the lesson the wild whispers to us. Survival is not about being the strongest or the fastest. It is about adaptation, unity, and persistence. It is about finding strength in the face of relentless challenge, about rising again even when the night has left scars. So when the sun dips low and the savanna is bathed in gold, remember this. What we are watching is not just animals fighting for life. We are witnessing a spirit, untamed, unbroken, eternal. This is Africa. This is the law of the wild. And this, above all, is the unending story of survival.